Jan is a wonderful human being. Jan is a brilliant researcher. And Jan understands people.
She's just such a warm person. I mean, she's got all this deep technical expertise, and she's a really interesting human being who you just want to sit and talk with.
Jan's a delight. She has an infectious sense of humor, a warmth and candor, and also conveys a sense of values and a dedication to the university.
What made me become an engineer? There weren't many role models for me as a young person, but I liked math, I liked science, and I didn't want to become a mathematician, I didn't want to become a chemist. And so somebody said, oh, how about engineering when I was in high school? I had no idea what that was. I never knew an engineer. I saw that it was about problem solving, and I could combine my interest in science and math. And it turned out to be a perfect fit. UC San Diego was one of the only places that said to me, when I said I wanted to combine chemical engineering, material science, they said, oh, that sounds really interesting. Where most people said, you know, you need to decide, are you a chemical engineer or a material science? And I said, I'm going to do both.
It's really extraordinary that Dr. Talbot contributed to the founding of 2 different departments within UC San Diego, within the Jacobs School. First, mechanical and aerospace engineering, and now the Department of Chemical and Nanoengineering. It's now a very long name for a very wonderful reason.
Jan made a very important contribution to the School of Engineering and to the campus. When she decided to launch into nanoengineering, what she did was refocus the campus emphasis from figuring out why materials do things to how to make materials that do the things I want. She was brilliant at that. Her research record is incredible. Imagine making materials that interact with the world only because of the infinitesimal structure and not the materials themselves. That's the magic of nanoengineering.
I'm really proud of all the work that I did. I worked in semiconductor and through-hole plating, did one of the first modeling so that people could understand how they could actually electroplate into these holes. And then I worked in magnetic recording, and again, I was one of the first people that worked on some theory and doing also some experiments to trying to understand to make better materials for magnetic recording. And then the last decade I worked on solid-state lighting, and we discovered new materials.
I think one of her major emphases was the importance of mentoring and helping female faculty find a way forward in a foreign territory.
By being a woman in a field where you did not find many women at that time, she was also inspirational to the students.
I was an affirmative action hire, and I felt this pressure about I really needed to perform so that more women would be hired.
Today is different, but 40 years ago, there weren't that many women faculty in medicine or in engineering or other disciplines, and Jan was a groundbreaker.
To enter a space and to find that everyone is completely different from you, for example, with respect to gender, makes people feel that they don't belong. There is this issue of imposter syndrome. And so to be able to have those mentors that show you that this is possible, as I like to say in Spanish, si se puede. Jan was always about si se puede.
Throughout her career, Jan has made a point of supporting individual women who she was teaching or mentoring, but also looking at things structurally. She set really a standard that various parts of the Jacobs School have then picked up on over the years and are really, really running with that, which has been wonderful.
She also implemented the very first survey in terms of, people's impressions and how they were feeling, which now we have university-wide, which really showed at the time that women faculty felt very differently than male faculty, and that created a lot of new initiatives such as the Women's Lunch, looking at salary equity surveys, and really changing, I think, the culture for women faculty at UC San Diego.
I think the project of getting the cafe started and named Minerva's was so important to Jan because, it goes back to her deep interest in women in engineering.
That women themselves have a hard time with kind of being noticed as a philanthropist. And that the way that they do it is by groups, as groups. And then at the same time, I had been on the naming committee for 10 years, and there wasn't anything that was named after a woman. It was a great combination of things.
Jan is one of those faculty who have just been enduringly productive by virtue of their leadership, make UC San Diego the renowned institution that it is.
So what I'd really like to say to Jan is thank you. Everyone honors what you've done, and I hope you feel happy and proud about all of it.